Watch the hot shots of hockey shine in the 35th NHL All-Star Game at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on the USA Cable Network, February 8th.
The thrills and spills of outrageous professional wrestling is coming your way every Sunday morning. It's Southwest Championship Wrestling, wrestling at its best, with the likes of Bruiser Bob Sweetan, Cowboy Scott Casey, the Turk, and the Masked Grapplers. It's a hard-hitting, eye-opening weekly feature, Southwest Championship Wrestling, following the Sunday Cartoon Express at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on the USA Cable Network. Next. Skill, excitement, hockey. You've seen the NHL on USA. Now you can learn everything you know. This is the USA Cable Network.
Welcome to Southwest Championship Wrestling. I'm Steve Stack, and we'll be going into the ring in just a moment for our first exciting match, the first of many here on America's #1 wrestling program. The stars from around the professional wrestling world, where are they? They're right here at Southwest Championship Wrestling. So don't go away for the next hour, because we're going to thrill you with the action in the ring. Before we go there for our opening match, I'd like to introduce two gentlemen to you who are well known around the country. And here on my left, from Indianapolis, Indiana, Steve Regal.
How do you do, Steve? Thank you very much. I'd like to say hello to all the people out there watching on the cable hookup everywhere, all over the United States of America. This is the hotbed of professional wrestling right here in San Antonio, Texas. This area right here, you've got the world's class caliber of talent all through here. You got Scott Casey, you got Tully Blanchard, who has a heavyweight belt. You've got Bob Sweetan, the Grapplers, Lucas, Morton. I could go on and on. The list is endless. I'm here to make a name for myself. I'm here to try and work my way up to where maybe Tully Blanchard will let me get in that ring with him and go after that championship belt, Steve. And I'd like to say hello to all the people here in Texas, and I love this state.
Very good. Thanks to have you here, Steve Regal. Scott Casey, who makes his home in the state of Texas, in Amarillo. And Scott, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you, Steve. It's my pleasure. You know, everybody knows the definition of the word competition, but my definition is professional wrestling. And the best of competition is Southwest Championship Wrestling, as far as I'm concerned. I have wrestled on just about all different parts of the world that you can think of. And I have never, ever seen wrestling any tougher, any stiffer, and any more competitive than what we've got right here in Southwest Championship Wrestling. You know, most of you people out there haven't seen us in person yet, but we are coming to your area, and we'll be coming this next year in 1983, and you will see pro wrestling at its finest when you see Southwest Championship Wrestling. So come on out and give us a try, because I know you won't be disappointed.
Thank you very much, Scott Casey, Steve Regal. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to the ring for our first match right after this. Well, the bell sounds. The opening match in the ring here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. The Hangman from Kansas, Bobby Jaggers, at 255 pounds, against Eric Embry from Cloverport, Kentucky, at 220 pounds. I'm Steve Stack here at ringside. I know you're going to enjoy today's program. Off the ropes and over the top goes Embry. Case. Eric Embry with Bobby Jaggers down. Both men with about the same kind of wrestling trunks, red, white, and blue with the stars on it. Embry bouncing off the ropes. Jaggers misses him. Embry gets him. Hip toss. And a 1 count on the Hangman from Kansas, Bobby Jaggers. Embry holds on to the head of Bobby Jaggers. Embry holding on. Jaggers grabs him by the hair and slams his head in that turnbuckle, and down goes Eric Embry. Jaggers going to the air with 255 pounds. Missed Embry that time, and now Embry comes right back with a side headlock on the hangman. Bobby Jaggers is right back on the mat. Count on Jaggers. He picks up the right shoulder. Eric Embry holding on tight. Jaggers reaches in. Backdrop. As Jaggers reached in, picked up Embry, dropped him to the mat. Jaggers again comes through the air with that 255 pounds, and Embry wasn't there. Embry rears back and gets the leverage going his way, takes the hangman back to the mat. Embry drops that leg across the chest, and now a knee across the chest of the hangman, Bobby Jaggers. Embry in behind the hangman. Embry holding on tight. Jaggers trying to go for the ropes. That'll get him a break. He couldn't reach that far that time. Embry holding on to the head of Bobby Jaggers. Embry using the ropes for leverage, and he takes the big hangman down again. Embry with a side headlock. All you fans out there requesting that address where you can get souvenirs, pictures, t-shirts, sweatshirts, program of Southwest Championship Wrestling, just write to us at Southwest Championship Wrestling, 831 Fulton Street, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78212. If you'd like to give us a call, the area code is 512-732-0883. Well, Jaggers come up with something, got rid of Embry, but Embry didn't stay going long as he comes right back. Eric Embry trying to be pushed off by the hangman, Bobby Jaggers. Jaggers comes up to his knees. Embry still holds on to the head. Backed into the corner. That's where they go. It's Embry in the corner. Jaggers in front. The referee, Jack Howe, says break, and Jaggers throws a punch on the break. Embry reverses the toss as they got to the center of the ring, and Jaggers gets a knee up there, and down goes Eric Embry. Jaggers with a forearm to the side of the head, and Eric Embry hits the deck. There's another forearm. Down goes Embry again. A boot to the side of the jaw of Eric Embry by the hangman from Dunlap, Kansas, Bobby Jaggers. Jaggers has him covered up. There's a count of 2, and Embry kicks out. Jaggers kicks him back down. Eric Embry laying those double fists into the midsection. Here he comes off the rope. Oh, a forearm to the top of the head. A drop kick by Eric Embry. Eric Embry dives in there with a fist. He's got the hangman down. He doesn't get him out because his leg's over the bottom rope. Embry going to try it again. Throws Jaggers out of that corner. Embry throwing some big ones to the head of Bobby Jaggers. Referee Jack Howe steps in between. Uh-oh, Jaggers is loading up that arm. He has that armband twisted around. He likes to do that and then get you with that hangman, and it's usually lights out. Will he get the chance? Oh, he does. He had that armband twisted around and loaded it up. Here comes the count as he uses the hangman on Eric Embry, and Bobby Jaggers wins it here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. And now Bobby Jaggers is making his way up here as Eric Embry is still being attended to by referee Jack Howe, and it looked to me like Bobby Jaggers may have loaded that armband turned around to take Eric Embry down.
See, Stacks, it's getting very obvious to me as a professional wrestler, as one of the best in the sport today, that you're just like Eric Embry. You've got to make excuses for defeat. As far as I'm concerned, you're a lot like Texas. They got to look up to a battle they lost. Well, I got news for you. Been a lot of accusations thrown around. Been a lot of people saying things. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to see it proven to me. I want to see it proven to me. Don't say something unless you can prove it. Unless you can prove it. Now, you want to know something? Scott Casey, side saddle cowboy. The only horse he ever rode was a donkey he claims his own. And a man comes out here and has the audacity to say, I don't know, I'm a cowboy. Daddy, Dunlap, Kansas, 20 miles north of Emporia. You Texans ought to know about it well. You were paying us to take your cattle to Dodge City and Abilene. Well, I got news for you. I was born and raised from that high, Daddy, until all 6'2" of me come out, a cowboy. And Scott Casey, I don't need nobody coming up here and tell me what my heritage isn't. Well, I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. What you just saw here today is an example. I beat people. But I have another thing I do very well, Steve Stacks. I fill emergency rooms. I take people like Eric Embry, Scott Casey. The list goes on. And I put them in a hospital. I give them a few weeks, a few months, and maybe the rest of their lives to think about this 6'2", 255 Kansas cowboy. Now, you hear all these people here, ladies and gentlemen, they're all from Texas. Well, this just goes to prove to you sitting there at home, that I am a cowboy. Every one of these people in here, they're scared because they know I am what I am. And ladies and gentlemen, I back up what I say.
The hangman from Kansas, Bobby Jaggers. We'll be back with another exciting match here on Southwest Championship Wrestling right after this. Welcome back to Southwest Championship Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Steve Stack, and I'm in the studio, and we're going to show you the highlights of the Southwest Tag Team Championship match that you see going on now. Now, if you remember, Ken Lucas and Rick Morton have been accused of not putting their titles up on the line. They said they would put the titles on the line any time that they could be guaranteed that Don Carson would not interfere in the match. Well, in this match right here, and you'll be seeing in just a moment outside the ring, their manager of the Grapplers, Don Carson, is handcuffed to the ring post. The Southwest Tag Team Championship is on the line. Ricky Morton and Ken Lucas are the holders of the belt as they went into this match. But you'll see a little later on what happens, and we've got a little controversy in this title exchange as the Grapplers do win the Southwest Tag Team Championship. And I'll call your attention at the point of the match to show you exactly what has happened. But it's like anything else. It's you can't go back and change the decision. And the referee, Jack Howe, was tied up at that point. He did not see what happened. And you know, you see a lot of football games, and the coaches come on, they complain that there was a penalty, and they show it over and over, but the referees did not change their mind. That's the same thing we've got right here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. So far, we haven't seen Don Carson outside the ring, but he is handcuffed to the ring post in the Grappler's corner. Ken Lucas in. A lot of times the titles were not put on the line, and this is grappler number 2 in the ring. I want to call your attention to that because it has some point to do with what really happened at the end of the match. Ken Lucas dropping knees into the small of the back of grappler number 2. Don Carson, you barely saw his arm out there as he yells instructions. And here is grappler number 1 trying to make his way in. A tag on the other side, Ricky Morton in. We thought you'd enjoy watching this match as Ricky Morton really hurting the back of grappler number 2. Number 1 tries to get in again. The referee doesn't allow him. There's Carson. See Carson trying to come up on the steps. That's as far as he can go. He is handcuffed into the. He is handcuffed to that ring post, and he cannot get in to interfere in any way in this match. Really punishing grappler number 2. Lucas and Morton, Southwest Tag Team Champions, but of course they do lose their titles here. I've watched this tape many times, and you'll have to watch closely with me as you see this is grappler number 2 in the ring, and it's very important that you know which grappler is in the ring at this point of the match. This match was videotaped at the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio. We had a great night. This championship match here, plus we had a tag team match, which we will be showing you a little later on. Tully Blanchard and Adrian Adonis is a tag team combination against Bob Sweetan and the King, Jerry Lawler. So there's a double atomic drop right there on grappler number 2, remember. So don't go away from your TV sets, because after this match, we'll be showing you Scott Casey against Juan Reynosa, and then that big tag team match. We're going to take you back in here to the HemisFair Arena, and I'll explain it to you from the studio. Grappler number 2 taking a lot of punishment. Once again, I remind you, it took me a while to get all this straightened out, and so that I can explain it to you. And I've watched it many times, and you saw that double backflip there. And the grappler number 2 has really been taking the punishment here in this match. It's whipped into the turnbuckle by Ricky Morton. There's grappler number 1 outside. Carson handcuffed to the ring post. He can't do anything. Now, grappler number 2 is knocked to the mat, and here he rolls out on the apron. He's kicked onto the floor. Now, watch very closely. Grappler number 1 goes down alongside of grappler number 2. And grappler number 2, remember, is laying on the floor, really beaten up during the match. Don Carson is holding on to him. And this Carson is reaching down now, and he is putting grappler number 1, who is fresh. See, grappler number 2, who was injured, is out onto the floor. Carson is keeping him out. There he is, laying on the apron. Grappler number 1, the fresh man, is in the ring, and now he throws a big forearm to the top of the head of Ricky Morton. And watch what he does here. He does something with this boot. I don't know what it is. There it is. He pounds that boot 3 times to the mat, kicks Ricky Morton. I don't know what is in that boot or what he did, but Morton was knocked cold. Here's the count. It's 1, 2, 3. Lucas a little late. But the title did change hands. The grapplers of Don Carson are the new Southwest Tag Team Champions. But once again, the controversy. Number 2 was a legal man in the ring. He was knocked onto the floor. Number 1 made his way up with the help of Carson, acted like he was dazed, and then he did something to that boot. I don't know what it was, but they are the new Southwest Tag Team Champions. That's the grapplers of Don Carson. Stay tuned, because Scott Casey and Juan Reynosa are next.
You have never seen this before. You're looking.
Now in the ring now, the referee Jack Howe talking to the Cowboy Scott Casey and Juan Reynosa. As the bell sounds, Juan Reynosa, 255 pounds, from San Antonio, Texas, against the Cowboy from Amarillo, Texas, at 235 pounds, Scott Casey. You're watching America's #1 wrestling program, Southwest Championship Wrestling. We strive to go around the world to pick up the greatest in professional wrestling and bring it to you every week. Be sure you watch us. 1 hour of excitement on your favorite TV station. Consult your local listings and see what time we're on in your town. Scott Casey locks the fingers on one hand with Juan Reynosa, now the other hand. Going for the leverage here. I remind all you youngsters sitting at home watching some of these moves that the professionals make every week on Southwest Championship Wrestling. Please don't try them on your friends, because you could injure somebody. We don't want that to happen. These guys are professionals. They're in excellent physical condition. And you just don't want to hurt one of your friends. So please be careful as you practice some of these moves that you see here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. Casey holding on to the arm of Juan Reynosa. Reynosa backs Casey onto the rope. Now he whips him across the ring. Shoulder tackle knocks Juan Reynosa down. Casey over the top of Juan Reynosa. Casey with a reversal and a hip toss, and down goes Juan, and there's an arm drag, and Reynosa is down to the mat. The referee, Jack Howell, checks the shoulders to make sure that one of them is up, and it was, so there was no count on Juan Reynosa. Reynosa holds on to the head of Scott Casey. Casey coming up. Down he goes. Reynosa may have reached in there and pulled the hair. It's kind of a little funny the way that Casey went down. And it happens again. Referee says, yes, you pulled the hair. Let's break it. He has to break it a 5 count. And he finally does. Fist. Casey knocked into the corner. Reynosa with an elbow at the top of the head. Reynosa slams his head into that turnbuckle. Oh, Casey come back with one of his own. Reynosa right back on top of him. Reynosa with that headbutt hurt himself as much as he hurt Casey, I believe. Casey has the leg. What's he going to do with him? He sweeps the other one out from underneath. Casey thrown off by Juan Reynosa. Reynosa laid that one right on the chin of Casey. There's an elbow to the top of the head. Casey moving in behind. Bouncing Reynosa off the rope. Does he have him rolled up? He does. Juan Reynosa kicks out, but it's a little too late as the referee, Jack Howell, slapped that bat 3 times. And the Cowboy, Scott Casey, wins it here at the Junction in San Antonio, Texas on Southwest Championship Wrestling. Stay tuned because the excitement continues right after this. Back to Southwest Championship Wrestling, and we've gone into the studios, and you are watching with us a videotape of a match which was held at the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio, Texas. Tully Blanchard, the Southwest heavyweight champion, and his partner, the Goodnight Irene man, Adrian Adonis, against Mr. Pile Driver Bob Sweetan, who's in the ring with Blanchard now, and his partner will be the King, Jerry Lawler. Some haymakers there. Oh, and Blanchard, you saw him going for the neck. You remember, if you watched this last week, Tully Blanchard and Adrian Adonis pile drive Bob Sweetan, and he is still feeling the pain in that neck, and Blanchard immediately goes to work on it. A reversal, and it's Blanchard into the ropes and doubled up, and he hits the deck as Bob Sweetan got that fist into the midsection. Blanchard is outside the ring. Jack Howell, the referee, comes over, has a word with Adrian Adonis. Bob Sweetan holding on to that neck, and he has suffered a lot of pain from that pile driver that Blanchard and Adonis put on him last week. Of course, in Sweetan's corner is another man who claims to be the master of the pile driver, the King, Jerry Lawler himself. Sweetan backing out there. The referee tells Tully Blanchard, the Southwest heavyweight champion, to open up that fist. Sweetan back in the corner talking to the king. Blanchard in the center of the ring. Sweetan comes out to meet him. Blanchard backing up. Adrian Adonis is behind him in the corner. Blanchard reaches back, trying to make a tag. Let's see if Adonis will tag in. The referee also watching. He has to see that tag. Oop. Sweetan backs out. They're still hurting in the neck. Blanchard over to talk to Adonis. Tully Blanchard, Adrian Adonis together. They would love to get Sweetan again, I'm sure, and try to pile drive and put him out this time. There's Sweetan grabbing an arm, the twist, but the tag was made by Tully Blanchard, and Adrian Adonis comes in. Sweetan didn't see the tag, and Adonis is quickly on him, drops a knee to the side of the head. High in the air goes Adrian Adonis. It's 250 pounds across the chest of Bob Sweetan. Reverse neck breaker. Sweetan is down. Adonis has got him covered up. Here's the count from the referee, and it was 2. Sweetan now throwing some haymakers from down underneath, and he gets over and tags out, and Jerry Lawler makes his way into the ring. Lawler out of Memphis, Tennessee, throws some to the jaw of Adrian Adonis. Adonis knocked back into Tully Blanchard, the Southwest heavyweight champion. He tags in, and he doesn't want too much of Jerry Lawler right now. The excitement of the crowd here at the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio, you can hear it as Jerry Lawler is ready to do business with Tully Blanchard. Now Blanchard comes in, grabs that arm, puts a twist in it, has it locked tight, bends the wrist back. Throws a fist right underneath that arm. Oh. Lawler now being covered up by Blanchard, backs into the corner. Here's a tag. Adrian Adonis, the big man out of New York City, back into the ring. He's in behind. He holds Lawler as Blanchard lays one to the jaw. Uppercut forearm. That's a legal blow. Big kick from Adrian Adonis. Sweetan started in to grab Adonis. Sweetan now yelling a word of encouragement into his partner, Jerry Lawler. Adonis picks up the king high in the air, and there's an atomic drop, and Jerry Lawler hits the mat. Adonis has got him covered up. Sweetan in to save him. Tag now. Tully Blanchard, the Southwest heavyweight champion, back into the ring. He throws a fist to the back of Jerry Lawler as Adonis held him until Blanchard got in. It's Blanchard in front. Oh, Lawler looked like he may have grabbed the hair there. Jerry Lawler resorting to grabbing the hair to get Tully Blanchard around, throwing some punches, and now he throws him into Sweetan. Sweetan greets him with one. Lawler knocks him back with another one, and it's you hit him and I'll hit him. Keep him in the corner. Keep him away so he can't tag out to Adrian Adonis. That's what Lawler and Sweetan are doing here. There's a tag. Sweetan, a 285-pounder out of Round Rock, Texas, in the ring now. Right to the top of the head, and the Southwest heavyweight champion is down. There's a boot from Sweetan. Makes those fingers around the areas of the eyes as 5 minutes have gone by in this match. Lawler with a fist. Blanchard turns around, gets another one this time from Bob Sweetan, and Sweetan goes to doing a little biting. Well, you saw the hair pulling a while ago from Lawler, now the biting from Sweetan. Referee Jack Howe tries to get Sweetan out of there to give Blanchard a chance to get back into the ring. There's a fist to the top of the head. Tully Blanchard is injured. Tully Blanchard staggers, trying to make his way over to Adrian Adonis. Did he make it? Yes, he did. And Adonis is in, and Sweetan greets him with a punch. Grabs him by the arm, whips him over to where Lawler hits him. Sweetan hits him again. Off the ropes. Oh, boy. These two guys, Lawler and Sweetan, now have Adrian Adonis tied up in the ropes on their side of the ring. Blanchard is grabbed by Sweetan. He's pulled over that top rope into the ring. Sweetan takes Blanchard by the arm, whips him over into Adrian Adonis, and they are both staggered. Sweetan goes after Adrian Adonis. He's the legal man in the ring, and now Sweetan tags out. It's Lawler coming in. Sweetan held Adonis long enough for Lawler to lay one big punch in there. Now he has Adonis down, and he is really snapping some in. One very close to the throat. Adonis is up. He'd like to make his way over to get out of there. You see Lawler steps in between him and Tully Blanchard. Now Adrian Adonis knocked back. Falls down onto that bottom rope. Blanchard reaches over to the top rope. He's made the tag. In he comes, and he quickly goes after Lawler. Drops a knee to the side of the neck. There's one to the back of the neck. Sweetan starts in between the ropes, and Sweetan grabs Tully Blanchard, has him up in the air, and there's an atomic drop on Tully Blanchard, who is thrown in between the ropes, out onto the timekeeper's table. Jerry Lawler comes over, grabs Tully Blanchard. Blanchard is out on the apron. Referee tells Lawler to get back, let the man get into the ring. Blanchard coming underneath that bottom rope. Backs away from Jerry Lawler right here as Blanchard is thrown out onto the table. He could make a tag here. Let's see if he chooses to do so, as Adrian Adonis is right there. Blanchard in his own corner, talking to the referee, and I think he's talking about the punches that were thrown there earlier in the match. Lawler tells the referee, step aside, I'll take care of him. There's a kick from Jerry Lawler. Oh, he's going for a pile driver. Can he get the pile driver on Tully Blanchard? He doesn't get it here as Adrian Adonis come in with that forearm to the back, and Lawler had to let go. Sweetan comes in with a knee to Tully Blanchard, and one to the side of the head. He throws that big forearm. Referee Jack Howe caught in between the two men as they battling over the referee. Blanchard, fist to the forehead, and right here it is Adrian Adonis choking the King Jerry Lawler right there in the foreground. Referee finally pushes Tully Blanchard back. He goes over to where Lawler's down on the mat, drops a knee across the chest. Now reaches down, grabs him, turns him away from the referee. He may be doing a little choking here himself as he has Lawler into the corner. Adrian Adonis is right there, and Adonis pulls his throat down over that top rope, snaps him across there, and down into the ring falls Jerry Lawler. Drops him across that top rope again, and Jerry Lawler is down in the center of the ring. Adonis in front, has him covered up with that face lock. The referee checking to make sure it's not a chokehold. Lawler trying to make his way over where he'd tag out to Sweetan. He does get the stretch in that arm, and Sweetan is in. Whoops, the referee did not see the tag on that side. He didn't allow Sweetan in. Over here, there was no tag. And Tully Blanchard come in anyhow. And Tully Blanchard in behind, getting by with one as the referee was over there with Bob Sweetan, and Tully Blanchard is now in the ring with a face lock on Jerry Lawler. Blanchard really has it tied on tight. Lawler knocks him off. Lawler trying to knock him down. He staggers him onto one knee over to where Sweetan tries to reach in. There's one for Adonis, and oh, Tully Blanchard caught him as he came across, takes him all the way into the ring, throws him into the turnbuckle, and the back of the King Jerry Lawler has got to be hurting here. Only a 2 count as Adonis quickly got in, had him covered up. Off the ropes, it's Lawler in behind, an abdominal stretch by Adrian Adonis on Jerry Lawler. Bob Sweetan looks like he wants to come into the ring. Here he comes. Sweetan in, and he knocks Adrian Adonis off. Here's a tag across the way. Tully Blanchard has made his way in. He has the King covered up. It's 1, 2. Ooh, the referee almost slapped that mat for the 3 count. Knee to the back. Now a face lock from in behind. Tully Blanchard holding on to Jerry Lawler. This action is at the HemisFair Arena in San Antonio.
Okay, Steve Stack, I caught you. The match isn't over yet. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Stack, I'm totally ashamed of you, how you could sneak off and try to show this tape without my knowledge. But I'm glad I got here because Steve Stack, I'll tell you what, this match does nothing but show is how Sweetan and Lawler do not know how to wrestle. All they are street fighters and know how to break the rules. They haven't used a wrestling hold in this match yet. The people sitting at home can see. And now that I'm here, not to give a slanted view on the rest of the match, if you don't mind, Steve Stack, I'll sit here and narrate with you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tully Blanchard has barged into the studio here. We're not trying to hide nothing from you, Tully Blanchard. We're just showing the fans at home this match.
Yeah, it's with a little bit of a slighted attitude. I'm sure that you and Bob Sweetan probably trumped up.
Well, right now it's Adrian Adonis and Jerry Lawler in the ring. You and Bob Sweetan outside the ring. Last week we showed the fans where you and Adrian Adonis 2-on-1 against Sweetan.
Yeah, what you saw last week was Bob Sweetan pulling me in the ring. Pulling me in the ring, breaking the rules when he had no business doing so. Just as you've seen, as the people have already seen in this match. I can remember it well. It just happened the other night. My head was split open. I was hurt. And all they want to do is punch and break rules. Adrian using an elbow, which is a legal blow.
That was a big fist from outside the ring by Bob Sweetan.
Just exactly what I'm talking about. The man does not know the rules. All the people's hero, Bob Pile Driver Sweetan, doesn't know how to wrestle. All he is a street brawler. He likes all these things with no rules.
There's Adrian Adonis trying to reach out to you. You do tag in. You come in between the ropes, and quickly you go after Jerry Lawler. You're up on the middle rope. Up on the middle rope, and you dive down there, but Lawler got out of the way, and he caught you with a fist. Outside, Adrian Adonis might be breaking the rule right there.
Well, Steve Stack, 15 minutes of getting beat up. You got to fight fire with fire. You think we're going to go in there with wrestling holds against fists?
Going for the pile driver. It's you, Tully Blanchard, trying to get Jerry Lawler up, and here comes
Bob
Sweetan.
Sweetan again.
Sweetan come in to knock Tully Blanchard off with Jerry Lawler. Blanchard was going for the pile driver. Now there's a little choking, it looks like, from this angle, as Tully Blanchard is thrown off by Jerry Lawler. Sweetan would like to tag in. He'd like to come in this match at this point. Rake the laces across the area around the eyes of Jerry Lawler. That was Tully Blanchard going for a pile driver again. He doesn't get him up as Lawler takes him over, comes on top. He's got him 1, 2, and Adrian Adonis in to save Tully Blanchard. Sweetan starts in. There's no tag. Sweetan back out of the ring, but he did kick.
Illegally.
Did kick Tully Blanchard.
Don't be afraid, Steve Stack. The people at home know you as the voice of Southwest Championship Wrestling. You won't lie to them.
Well, Adrian Adonis in the ring now as the King Jerry Lawler's down on the mat. Here's Adonis on that middle rope. He flies to the air. Oh, and the King Jerry Lawler had those knees up right into the midsection. Adonis quickly, he tags out. It's Sweetan in. Blanchard comes in. Tully Blanchard, Bob Sweetan. Sweetan has Blanchard up. There's another atomic drop. Blanchard thrown into the turnbuckle. Sweetan goes over, throws one at Adonis, grabs him by the hair, pulls him into the ring. Takes him and whips him all the way across as Blanchard is tied up over there with
Adrian over the top rope. Lawler's got me in the corner using his fist. Steve Stack,
he did not go out of the ring over that top rope. He just flipped up right back in. Sweetan with a punch to the side of the head, and Blanchard grabs him by the trunk, throws him into between the ropes and onto the floor. Tully Blanchard now goes after Jerry Lawler. Adonis is in the ring. It's 2-on-1, and they slam him to the mat. Now, Tully Blanchard signaling, let's put the pile driver on him like we did at Bob Sweetan last week here on Southwest Championship Wrestling. The head of Jerry Lawler in between the legs of Tully Blanchard, and Sweetan come off the top rope.
Which is a disqualification, and right there the referee signals disqualification, just like Bob Sweetan. See, he's trying to hurt me, put me out of wrestling, instead of doing it by the rules.
There you saw Bob Sweetan off the top rope. That is an automatic disqualification, any contact off that top rope. And Bob Sweetan and Jerry Lawler will be disqualified. And that makes Tully Blanchard and Adrian Adonis the winner. And you're smiling, Tully Blanchard.
That's right. You know, Bob Sweetan, he's got a chair right there. Everything he does, he always wants to get you in some kind of match, a cage match, Texas death match, anything where the rule book can be thrown out because the man wasn't good enough to win the Southwest Heavyweight title.
We'll be back with more of the exciting action right after this. Southwest Championship Wrestling continues at the bell with Ali Bey the Turk from Istanbul, Turkey at 255 pounds against Terry Daniels from Amarillo, Texas at 215 pounds. Steve Stack here at ringside, hoping you enjoy the action wherever you're watching around the United States on the Southwest Championship Wrestling Network. In behind with a hammerlock, it was Ali Bey the Turk, and now he reaches in and snaps Terry Daniels down. Daniels up quickly. Once again, I'd like to give you that address if you missed it earlier for our souvenirs, t-shirts, programs, pictures, sweatshirts, whatever. That address is Southwest Championship Wrestling, 831 Fulton Street, San Antonio, Texas. The zip code 78212. And the phone number, if you'd like to call, is area code 512-732-0883. Just call us. I'd be glad to talk to you. Daniels bounces off the ropes. The Turk misses with a fist, and Daniels gets in the air with a drop kick and knocks him down. Ali Bey the Turk, Terry Daniels. The crowd going wild here at the Junction in San Antonio, Texas, where we videotape Southwest Championship Wrestling every Monday night, 8:30 starting time, slight admission charge. No matter where you're from, if you're in San Antonio on Monday nights, come on out. We'd be glad to meet you. I know you'll enjoy the matches. Drop kick. Daniels laid it right on the chin. The Turk is down. Daniels drops across with a leg. He's got him covered up. Here comes the count. It was only 2. The Turk would like to lock up with Daniels with one hand. The fans are yelling, telling Terry Daniels no. Oh, the Turk in with a fist. Oh, I could hear that one pop way up here. Down goes Terry Daniels from that big open hand chop from the Turk. Built close to the ground, but I'll tell you what, he's dynamite, powerful. You see that as he picked Daniels up, slammed him down. Throws him back. Daniels likely went out of the ring that time. Well, there's a little choking from Ali Bey the Turk. Breaks at a count of 4. Ali Bey the Turk takes that open hand, knocks Daniels back, but Daniels comes up with a forearm as he bounced off the rope. The Turk is staggered. There's one to the top of the head. The Turk reels around in the ring, holds onto the rope. Daniels goes after him. Daniels grabs him, whips him across the ring, gets in front, a beautiful backflip. The Turk is down. Elbow smash. Terry Daniels has got him covered up. Here comes the count. And the Turk kicks out at 2. Daniels putting the Turk in the corner. Daniels standing on that bottom rope, laying some punches in there. Takes the Turk all the way across the ring into the turnbuckles. Daniels goes in after him. The Turk got a knee up there. Daniels keeps going on. Daniels with one to the head. Ooh, Terry Daniels trying to bring Ali Bey the Turk out of that corner. The Turk turned around and laid one around the throat there of that open hand. Daniels kicked out on the apron and onto the floor. The referee counting Terry Daniels outside. It's a 20 count outside the ring. The Turk should get back and give him a chance to get in the ring. If he doesn't, that breaks the count. That just gives Daniels a little more time to stay out and gives him an extra breather. The Turk now choking Daniels and then lays a big forearm across the chest. Daniels trying to knock him back. A drop kick, and that gets rid of him for a moment. Another drop kick. Daniels backs him into the corner, grabs him by the arm. There's a reversal. It's Daniels thrown into the turnbuckle. Turk with a bear hug, brings him over, has him down. 1, 2, 3, and referee Jack Howe got the 3 count on Terry Daniels. LEB, the Turk wins it. We'll be back with more excitement of Southwest Championship Wrestling right after this. Southwest Championship Wrestling this afternoon as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. And remember, we are Southwest Championship Wrestling, America's #1 wrestling program. We go around the world to pick up the best in professional wrestling and bring it to you here every week on the Southwest Championship Wrestling Network. The excitement will continue here next week. Be sure you consult your local listing, see what time we're on in your town. Until then, this is Steve Stack saying so long for America's #1 wrestling program, Southwest Championship Wrestling from Texas.